Hey there, spooky friends, and welcome to another episode of Storytime with the Scarish podcast.
Woo!
I'm Robin Grace. This is Adam Diaz.
Hello.
And we're going to try to do these Storytime episodes once a month, I think.
Yeah, we were talking about it, and we want to start doing story times again. We have a few emails to get through for sure. Definitely not enough to do it weekly anymore. Mm-hmm. But the idea of having like topic episode story time sounds about right to us. Unless it's like one of those weird months with 5 weeks, in which case we'll figure something out.
Yeah.
So that's going to be the plan from now on. I think the first episode of each month is going to wind up being a story time. So we'll record them on Fridays. We'll figure out recording schedule because that'll be a little bit awkward because if we record them on Friday, then we've already missed our release day.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, but either way, we're going to try and have these more regularly. That way the folks who like to come out and watch the stream live can do so. And we've had a lot of folks that have sent in emails that are like, hey, when is my story going to get read? And now we can start to get an idea of like about how long it'll take. So yeah, we're going to be reading 4 homegrown horrors for this particular episode. Robin, what's a homegrown horror?
Homegrown horrors are, paranormal, supernatural. We've gotten some funny coincidental stories of just these experiences that you folks have, whether that's an encounter with a ghost or what you think was one, or maybe your family member met a serial killer and somehow escaped them.
Got that before you?
Yeah.
Exactly. So if you have a story like that and you would like to share it and have it read on the show, you can email storytime@scarish.com or go to our website, scarish.com, click on Contact Us, fill out that form. It comes directly to us. Or hit us up on our social medias. Facebook is facebook.com/scarishpodcast. Twitter is @scarishpod. And Instagram is @scarishpodcast. We would love to hear from you, just like these 4 people reached out. So I think we're going to go ahead and jump into our first one, if I'm not mistaken. Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
Why don't you go first?
All right, I will go first then. This first one is from someone named Andrew. And for those of you who have listened to us for a while, yes, it is the Andrew of Andrew and Sam, our most shipped couple who met through the show, which is super awesome. And the subject is, you can read on the pod. See, Andrew knows what's up. Starts out like this. Hey, Adam and Robin.
Hello.
Hello. I'm writing you guys with 2 stories because they're both pretty short. The first one is quite possibly the scariest moment in my life that was debunked pretty quick. And the second is something that just happened.
Oh, wow. Okay.
The first story is when Sam and I were living at our old place. I was walking down our hallway, and as soon as I was right in front of the hall closet door, there were 3 loud bangs on the other side of the door. I was frozen in fear when this happened. Sam immediately walked over and opened the closet door. We could see that the laundry detergent had fallen off the shelf. Unknown how it fell off the shelf, but I'm just telling myself that the detergent was what hit the door, and leave it at that.
I mean, okay. So
you're going to talk about the exploding fire alarm, aren't you?
No.
I totally thought that's what you were going to talk about.
Detergent cannot explode like a freaking fire alarm.
But it's the loud noise that happened that scared you.
But what knocked it off the shelf?
I mean, who knows? Maybe it was a little mini earthquake. I could have sworn we had an earthquake last night. I woke up and I felt like I was shaking. And then I went right back to sleep. I was like, oh, it's like a vibrating bed at a cheap motel.
Okay.
So I'm going to go with, nothing paranormal there. Just maybe.
It could be.
I mean, of course it could be. It could be a million things.
Because you can't just say like, well, it was a laundry detergent. It fell off the shelf and hit the door.
I didn't say that at all. But I'm just saying that I'm going to go with, I think the shelf might not have been level or something like that. Natural causes on this one. And it scared the shit out of you, which I totally understand. Because loud noises directly next to you that are unexplained are definitely scary.
And now it was ghosts.
Now you're going to go with ghosts?
I'm going to say something knocked it off the shelf.
Okay, cool. I wonder what message it was trying to send other than,
it was like,
fuck this laundry
detergent.
Let me out of
here. Open the door. Let the spirits in.
The ghost of your old place. I knew your monitor was going to ding in the background. I knew it, and I asked, and you didn't say anything. And I was like, I guess I'll find out during the show. All right, going to move on. The next story. We were at our new place just the other night. I was in the kitchen, and Sam was sitting on our couch. There was an empty dog food can that was sitting on the table. The dog food can then was thrown off the dining room table without anyone near it.
Okay.
My first thought was a cat since we have 2 of them, but they were both eating at the time. We have been having a lot of supernatural experiences in our place recently. We are to believe it's my mom since she passed away in 2009.
Oh, wow.
I mean, yeah, I could see that. If I was, going to pass away, I would mess with my kids for sure.
That's scary, though. Like having an object just fly off of a table.
This is the second time, too. I mean, obviously not off the table, but just move on its own. So it finishes up like this. Well, that's it for now, and maybe I'll send some more stories later of what's been happening. Thank you for everything you guys do. It's still my favorite podcast. Keep on creeping on, Andrew.
Even if it were like a parent, grandparent, or something like that passed away in the house, I would still freak out. Like that time I thought something closed my bedroom door upstairs at my mom's house, and my grandma had just passed away in the house, you know? I still got scared. Like, even if it could be the spirit of my grandmother, like, I still would be very scared.
Yeah, I totally understand that. And hopefully it's just like a playful thing and not something that's, poltergeisty, making it seem like it's your mom. But yeah, fingers crossed. Definitely send us the rest of your stories. We want to hear what else is happening to you guys and just how you guys are in general. We love you. We miss you. But yeah, thank you for sending that in.
All right. So this next email, the subject is my boyfriend's half dream state demon.
Oh, that's interesting.
Goes, hey guys.
Hello.
Hello, we're the guys.
Everyone out there say hello if you decide that you're a guy. Totally up to you. You can be a guy right now if you want. Just say hello.
You can be a spooky guy. No, don't be. I don't know.
Spooky guy is different than creepy guy.
Yeah, as long as you're not creepy guy.
If you're hiding behind like a wall and then someone walks by and you're like, boo, and they're like, oh my god, you got me, you're a spooky guy. If you're hiding behind a wall and someone walks by and you're like masturbating, you're a creepy guy.
What the frick?
Don't be that.
What the frick?
Don't be that. No one wants that.
Okay, continuing on. I just want to start out by saying my boyfriend Will and I love your podcast. We love listening together. Feel free to use our real names if you read the story of the pod. Yep, well, it's too late. We already done that in this live. Anyway, on to the scary story.
We mean it's too late. They said we could, so good.
Yeah,
thing.
I know, but like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't read these beforehand, so
my mom would have let us know. She
Okay.
proofread these. Shout out to Spooky Mom doing it from 4 hours away.
Wait, what?
She lives in Las Vegas.
Oh! I was like,
she doesn't live with us anymore.
No, I was just thinking like time wise. I was like, what? She's 4 hours away time zone.
Oh yeah, she lives in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. So.
Anyway.
I don't know which direction.
Anyway, on to the scary story. Last night, Will got home from a particularly tiring day of work. On days like these, he likes to take some time to relax in bed before continuing on with his nightly activities. I was in the bedroom folding laundry while he rested. Before I continue, I need to provide a little backstory. Ever since Will was a kid, he had been experiencing these half-dream states, similar to astral projection, I think. So I assume it's like you're not asleep, but you're kind of asleep, and so it's like you still sense everything that's going around you.
I feel like with astral projection, you can actually like leave your body and do stuff too. So if that's the case, send us more emails. I want to know more about this.
So in Will's case, he can hear voices talking to him or sometimes even see figures standing by his bed.
It's almost like sleep paralysis.
It does sound like sleep paralysis. As I continued folding laundry, I could tell he was slipping into this state because his eyes started twitching and he began to mutter under his breath.
Kill again.
This is usually what happens whenever he enters this state. He began to mutter my name, asking for help, which is also usually what happens when these events occur.
Now, if you're like Robin, you're going to leave him there to suffer in this dream
Adam
state.
doesn't say anything, okay?
I can't. My fucking voice box is frozen.
His body just twitches, and I'm like...
Yeah, she'll push me it's like 1 out of 10 times. She'll shake me to wake me up. Like 5 out of 10 times, she'll push me once, and if I don't wake up, she's like, suffer, bitch. And 4 out of 10 times, she just goes back to sleep.
Anyway, this whole thing just reminds me of Haunting at Hill House. And
oh yeah, Nell.
Yeah, well, where Nell experiences seeing the bent neck lady, and she just is frozen there, but she can still kind of move her mouth because you can hear her like kind of whimpering right when she sees these things. Continuing, I got up from the floor and walked around to the other side of the bed to wake him up. As I was standing there, I felt a weird feeling in my stomach, but it didn't last long. So I just didn't pay attention to it at first. I shook him awake, and after Will got his bearings, he told me that before I stood up and walked over to him, he felt something else rush around the bed towards him, almost with superhuman speed. He told me he was too scared to open his eyes to see what was there.
It was Ezra Miller, wasn't it? This fucking guy's a menace. He's everywhere, people.
That freaked me the hell out because I swore I felt something weird as I was standing next to him. He asked me if he should try to go back to sleep and talk to whatever was in the room with us, and I told him, fuck no.
You're smart.
I'm not sure if I believe 100% in a lot of this scary/spooky stuff, but the thought of him trying to make contact with whatever presence was in our bedroom fucked with me. It was probably just a weird dream, but if you hear about a weird supernatural slaying of a couple from the Philadelphia suburbs, please call Sam and Dean immediately. Thanks for taking the time to read this, and thank you for all the effort you guys put into this amazing podcast. Take care, Charity.
That was really good. I really enjoyed that.
I would not let them like decide, you know what, I'm gonna go back to sleep, talk to this thing, see what it is. Imagine going back to sleep and
babe, it's totally cool, just cut a pentagram into my chest and we'll use the blood as the medium to communicate.
But what if you open your eyes and it's something you did not want to see,
like your parents doing it? That would be awful.
Why is that what you jump to?
That's the first thing I wouldn't want to. That's at the top of my list. Parents doing it, Ezra Miller demon. Like, what? 1, 2, 3.
What? Why is Ezra Miller higher on that list?
He's not, actually. It's just because superhuman speed and he's the Flash and he kept getting arrested. Very topical. This is from like 2020. I think it happened before COVID,
Oh my God. Anyway, it's definitely not something that I would want to see for sure.
I definitely wouldn't try and touch base with anything that was trying to cross over or haunt me.
What if he goes back to sleep, tries to talk to it, and then your house is definitely haunted?
Plus, it's like, okay, so we've been watching True Blood again lately to try and finish this series out. And like, at some point, True Blood's pretty old. If you don't know this, I'm not worried about spoiling it for you. Lafayette becomes a medium and he can just like talk to people in that show. But every fucking time he gets some exposition from a dead character, they possess him. Every single time. Like last night we watched it happened again. And I was like, you figured this fucking dude would find some like form of protection like that tattoo Sam and Dean have. So if I was just like, oh, I think I can make contact with this, the first thing I would think was going to happen is it's going to take me over. And fuck that. Like, not worth it.
Doesn't Dean get taken over by a demon regardless?
He gets taken over by Michael.
But he also has Cain in him at one point.
Well, he has the mark of Cain, which is different because he uses that dagger. There's so many fucking stupid storylines in Supernatural.
We finally finished it. The goal this year for us is to finish the series that we
we couldn't remember shit about True Blood, so we're like, let's watch it again. We're going to go back and finish the last season of The Office because we stopped on that too.
Yeah, I want to finish Umbrella Academy.
We got a lot of shit to catch up on. Anyways, we've gotten pretty far away from what you were talking about, but we do sincerely appreciate you sending us email, Charity. And I really, really found humor in it when you mentioned the whole, like, if you hear about a supernatural slang in Philadelphia suburbs, that was a good joke. So thank you so much for sending that. Any other thoughts, Robin? I don't want to steal the mic from you.
No.
All right, cool. That's it.
Thanks.
So before we move into our next story, we are going to take a really quick commercial break. And we're back. So this next Storytime subject is You May Read This on the Pod. Again, thank you for the permission right up front. And it starts out like this. Hello, Spooky Fam. Hello. Robin's kissing the dog right now, but I'm sure she's thinking hello. And anyone out there who's Spooky Fam, yell hello. This is Amber back with another story once again. Most of my stories have been about my vivid and spooky dreams or stories I've heard from my family or friends. I haven't had many interesting experiences myself. That was until last night. Oh, shit. So, of course, I wanted to share this with you. So, for some context, I'm currently in college and have 2 roommates. Let's call them Ray and B. B recently bought a new computer game, and we were excited because it was multiplayer so we could all play together. Last night, we were playing the game until almost midnight. I usually get in bed a little after 10 p.m., but they wanted to do another round. I knew if I didn't join, their laughing and fighting would keep me up, so I joined them. By the time we finally finished, I was extremely tired, as you can imagine. I also had taken my melatonin before we started the final round, so I could feel the effects of that as well. I turned off the lights and went to bed right away while B and Ray got ready in the dark. Ray then left the room to go to the bathroom, followed by B a little bit after. B locked the door behind them as I was the only one left in the room and I was trying to sleep. I had a few minutes of sweet, silent rest until I heard someone at the door. I could hear them turning the knob only to realize it was locked, then that frustrated rattling of the door you do when you realize you're locked out. I assumed this to be Ray since they probably left their key in the room, not realizing B had left as well. I decided to just leave them out there until B came back with the key. This may seem like a jerk move, but I was really tired, okay? I also sleep on a loft bed, so it would have been a lot of work climbing down while sleepy. A few moments later, I heard a key being put into the lock. I guess this was B coming back from the bathroom. Except they weren't unlocking the door and something wasn't right with the key. You know that thing a key does when you try to put it in the wrong lock? How it doesn't go in all the way and stops halfway? Yeah, that's what I heard. Whoever was on the other side of the door did not have the room key and was not one of my roommates. I stayed in bed.
That's scary.
I would be like, they're probably drunk. They'll move on. I stayed in bed, but kept my eye on the door. I then heard the key taken out of the lock and then nothing. A while passed and I was more confused than freaked out. I thank my therapy and medication for that because my high anxiety would have sent me into a panic attack at the first sound. It was silent for a while, so I slowly tried to go back to sleep, only to be woken up a minute or two later. I once again heard the turn of the knob, realizing it was locked, but rather than rattling, all I heard was a few calm knocks. I finally got out of bed, sick of all this noise, and went to the door. I looked through the peephole and saw Ray. I let them in, and a question nagged at the back of my mind. How long have you been out there? Not long, maybe like 20 seconds max. Why? So I was correct. That earlier noise was not my roommate.
That's scary.
A little while later, B returned as well, and before we settled into bed, I simply told them, well, someone tried to break into our room.
I mean, that's genuinely, right, what it sounded, but what I feel like that would have sounded like, someone just really trying to get in.
Have you ever, whether from being tired or intoxicated, tried to go into the wrong room?
No. Have you?
I don't think so. I think I've, like, walked up to the wrong door before, like, carrying stuff, like when I used to live in my old apartment in Vegas, and, like, looked up and been like, this is not my door, and then, like, just walked to the other one. I have had drunk people try to get into my apartment before. Like, thinking it was their apartment, like, banging on the door because they couldn't get it open, so it sounded like they were trying to break in, where I went over there, like, ready to fight, looked in the peephole, and it was just some drunk old lady barely able to stand, and I just smacked my door and was like, fuck off! And then she realized it wasn't her door, and then, like, skittered away. She did that 3 times before I moved out.
Oh, my God. Is that the one who would leave her car door open?
Yeah, she would park her car. She'd drive home drunk, obviously, park her car, open her door, and pass out. And
she would be hanging out her door.
We found her hanging out of her door like multiple times with her car running, like just passed out, like drunk as a skunk. So I wonder if that was the case, but let's get back to the story here. All right, it continues. I have a few ideas as to what may have happened. I doubt it was an attempted robbery. My best guess was that one of our floor mates went to the wrong room and was trying to get in only to realize it was the wrong room. My only issue with that is that our doors all have our names on them, so they should have seen that. It's also hard to mistake our room since it's right at the end of the hallway.
Yeah.
My next best guess could be that I hallucinated it. I've had auditory hallucinations in the past, a few memorable ones happening when I am tired or even waking me from sleep. But I'm usually pretty good at telling the difference between them, and with how specific these sounds were, I doubt it was that.
I have definitely experienced, like, hearing things while I'm sleeping.
We have both in this house, while being sleepy, thought we heard our name called. That happened.
I was dead asleep.
I was dead asleep like 3 days ago. Robin was at work, and I heard a woman say my name, and it woke me up out of a dead sleep, and I was just like, who the fuck was that? And I immediately texted Robin like, are you home? She's like, no. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm pretty sure I heard my name yelled just now, and I don't know what the hell. I thought it was so real sounding that it was like the property management people. They were at the bedroom window saying my name because they were like trying to get in. They couldn't.
Was it that loud?
Yeah, it fucking freaked me out.
When I heard my name, it wasn't loud. Like, I was sleeping and I swear I heard my mom say my Vietnamese name. And it wasn't like yelling or anything, but it was it wasn't loud like someone was yelling it at me, but it sounded like a, when someone says your name like really concerned or worried, like that's what it sounded like.
Yeah, that's
like
what mine
a quick,
was too.
Just like someone saying
it's
my
so
name.
So creepy, man. It happened to both of us.
But I don't think our house is haunted. And if it's haunted, we've been in here for.
I think we're just haunted.
6 months almost. 4 months. We've been here for 4 months, and I mean,
I feel okay. Everything's been fine. Feels good here. I'm gonna finish up this email. Maybe it was a ghost, but all I know was that it was terrifying, and I'll make sure to keep the doors locked a lot more often. Thank you for reading. Wow, this is longer than I expected, but I hope you enjoyed it. Keep on creeping on. We enjoyed the story. We didn't enjoy the experience that you had to go through to get it, but thank you so much for sharing it with us. I guarantee you there's a bunch of people out there who have had similar experiences that were equally creepy. It would be much more frightening if you were like in a house in the middle of nowhere, and you heard someone trying to get into your home. Yeah. That would freak me the fuck out. Like where I grew up.
That is you have a gun at your bed kind of thing.
Where I grew up, if I heard that, it would be way different than hearing it like in an apartment complex or a dorm.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, there shouldn't be anyone here. So, but thank you so much for sending that. And if you have any further stories in the future, don't hesitate. Send them our way.
Yeah, thank you. Alrighty, so here is the last story for this particular episode, and it goes, "Hello, how are you?"
Hello.
Hello, we're
I'm
all
good.
right.
How are you?
We're having. I hope you're having a wonderful day. We are having a wonderful day.
Yeah, I guess.
You're saying you're not having a wonderful day? I mean, I know you worked this morning.
It's all right. It's been a long day.
I've been meaning to send this story for a week. I'm writing this while in school. You make passing periods, lunch, and etc., and my day better. The story is about sleep paralysis. Okay. So maybe there's a theme this episode. Just a bunch of sleep paralysis
Lots
stories.
of sleep things going on with folks.
Last week, Sunday, I went to sleep, and like many times before, I woke up between 1 and 4 a.m., which has not happened for a few weeks. Whenever I get sleep paralysis, sometimes the shadows or the things that are in my dreams are very physical. This time, it was no different, but it was more aggressive. The shadow thing had the build of a man, and its voice was also masculine. I'm guessing pretty tall, too, because I sleep on the top bunk bed. So I opened my eyes in the dream, and we were in my room that I share, but I couldn't move. What is this with the stories? Like, the last story had a loft bed. This is a bunk bed, you know? I did not panic because I know what to do to wake up. The shadow man was standing in front of me. It didn't move at first, but its face came closer and its eyes were red. And then I woke up, but it was another dream, and I couldn't move again. This time, it crept closer.
That old fake wake up.
That happened to you, right? Where you woke up into another dream, and Adam said that he saw something out in the hallway, and it like peeked his head in.
No, that's different. You're mixing up things. I woke up and I was in sleep paralysis, and I hallucinated while in sleep paralysis for the first time, seeing something looking at me.
Okay. What's
the other thing was I had a dream where something was after me, some form of evil, which has always been in my dreams. And I woke up from it, and I was in bed, and then all of a sudden it was above me, like directly above me, floating in a sheet, and I like reached up to grab it. And then I actually woke up.
That's creepy.
And I couldn't move my arm because it was like in the air, and it was like something was holding me.
Oh, gotcha.
I told this story on the show before.
Yes.
So, yeah. But
I am an etch-a-sketch of memory.
She really is. Every time I shake her, she forgets everything else.
So this time it crept closer, and I was trying to move my hands, and I woke up again. But this time, the shadow man jumped on me. That's a nightmare. That's a straight-up nightmare. I could feel its weight on me, and then it pressed me down to my covers. This time, I could move my hands, and I was trying to reach at something to grab. It came closer to my face and started speaking to me, though I cannot remember what it said.
I can guarantee you I know what it said.
We've been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty. I only woke up when it let go. This time, it was real. I grabbed my phone and tucked it into my side in case I needed something to read to go to sleep. Okay, so they were asleep, experienced this, like, seeing this thing, shadows going across the walls, things like that.
Fake woke up.
Fake woke up.
It was there.
And it was closer. It's like it teleported.
Right.
And then did it again, and this time it climbed on top of them, which is a sleep paralysis thing.
Right.
Where they see things sitting on top of their chests.
And then they had their real wake up. And they're like, oh, shit, that was intense.
Yeah.
Grab my phone. I might need to read to go to sleep.
Right.
Okay. Thank you for the recap. This is very much like an anime episode where 6 minutes of action happens, and then they recap those 6 minutes for 20 minutes, telling you how everyone felt about it.
This is all for now. I might send other stories. Love y'all. Sorry for the spelling. I have dyslexia. You're totally good. Love your work. All the best, Dawn. Thank you so much, Dawn, for sharing that with us.
Thank you so much for saying
that.
Yeah,
I know that is definitely, I feel not necessarily typical of a sleep paralysis experience, but those are signs of like sleep paralysis, seeing, shadows, seeing things, and then having that feeling of something climbing onto your chest and seeing something, you know, doing that.
Fake wake ups are the fucking worst, man. They really give you a false sense of security where you're just like, okay, everything's fine, I'm awake now, and then something else pops up and you're like, now it's real, and it freaks you out even worse. So
yeah, I'm not a big fan of those experiences, you know. I have definitely had night terrors before where I have tried to scream in my dreams and nothing ever comes out. Those freak me out, but the experience of something actually sitting on my chest and seeing an entity sit on me, I haven't had that experience yet, and I hope never to, knock on wood. But yeah, thank you so much for sharing your experience. I'm sure it was like absolutely horrifying.
Yeah, thank you for sending it in. Writing it probably helped, but you had to relive it, and that probably sucked.
Yeah.
So either way, thank you so much for sending it. So yeah, that is everything we have for this episode of Storytime. Thank you so much for everyone who listened, for everyone who watched live at twitch.tv/scarishpodcast or youtube.com/scarish. Either way, we do these once a month now, Fridays at 4 p.m. So if you want to stop by and watch them done live, they're fun. Kind of a fucking mess, but they're a really good time. And what you hear is about 25% of what goes on. So there's chances to win free merch and stuff like that if you're here during the live show. So if you've never attended and you're like thinking about it, all the reason to do it.
Yeah.
We'd love to see you come out for a live one. If you have a story you would like to send us, please do. Email storytime@scarish.com or go to our website, scarish.com. Click on Contact Us, fill out that form, or hit us up on our social medias. Facebook is facebook.com/scarishpodcast. Twitter is @scarishpod. And Instagram is @scarishpodcast. Robin, for folks who would like to donate to us, how can they do so?
You can go to patreon.com/scarishpodcast. Those are monthly donations with tiers starting at $1. We really need to put out some extra bonus content. We're going to do some bonus little mini story times.
We've been talking about these mini story times.
So we're going to do that.
Like stories we find on the internet that are not confirmed that we like share with one another. So we'll see what those wind up being, but we're going to have some new exclusive Patreon content. We're not going to do people's stories they've sent us behind the paywall, but we want to do stuff that's new, that's exclusive to Patreon. So it's going to be coming very soon.
And then we're going to also let you know that we also have a coffee like we do every episode, ko-fi.com/scarishpodcast. And those are one-time donations. And all your donations go to helping us kind of keep this show going and help us, build what we have and create a spooky empire. So
helps us keep on creeping on. So kind of stole your thunder for the end there, but thank you so much for all the support we do get. We appreciate all of you. It's everything we have, though, for this particular episode. So, Robin, why don't you go ahead and sign us out, dog?
Keep on creeping on, and we'll talk to you guys next time.
Bye.